Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video guide for Ark Survival Evolved. Today in this video, folks, I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know about taming a saber-tooth tiger. Very first thing you will need is the regular kibble. That is the best thing to use to tame it, and it is a rideable creature, therefore it will require a saddle. So let's have a look at what you need for a saddle, and you can craft it at level 37. The saber-tooth tiger is of course a hostile creature and will attack a lot of creatures, and as you can see in the background there is a saber-tooth tiger fighting a vulture, so that is something to keep in mind. But if you are on a tall or big creature such as a rex or a wyvern, it will often ignore you. So with that said, I am just going to get rid of these guys. I'm going to try and get the vulture, but I most likely will end up killing the saber-tooth tiger. Now I do know that a lot of people will know how to do this, and these guides are for those that are just starting out in the game of Ark. As you can see, the vultures are piling up on the saber, so it will automatically end up losing out. I do believe that rexes and other carnivores will attack sabers, so they do have a lot of enemies. If there are vultures or dimorphodons, do bear in mind that they will attack the player instead of the pet that you are on. Now, there are two ways you can do this. If it is a, I'd say, low to medium level saber, you can use the bola method. So that means you have a bola with you. You will equip it or have it out. Start whirling it around as you go towards it and then release to entrap it. Now, this does not work for high level sabers because their torpor level is higher, which is what I'm going to show you in this particular video. Do bear in mind, I am on my own private server, so the lag is minimal. On official servers or some servers, there will be a bit more lag to deal with. There is also a bit of a glitch with the long neck rifle, and if you're going to do this, you do want to aim for the head, as you will do more damage and apply more torpor this way. However, what will happen, as you will see, is that most likely the bola will break, and the saber will want to run away from me because its torpor is high. Now I cannot bola again straight away because there is a cooldown on that, and although I am hitting it with the darts and I am getting the little mark on the creature, it's not applying any torpor. So how to do this? Well, I am going to use a trap. For this I will use some foundations. You can use pretty much any material you want apart from thatch. I'm going to go with stone because this is what I have with me, and so we'll do a 2x2 foundation. This is your standard pitfall trap that I like to use. Let's try and find a snapping point right here. No, it doesn't want to work there. That's fine. It doesn't want to work there either, so we'll go there like that. So that is a 2x2 foundation. We're going to go with one wall tall all around. We're going to enclose it, so basically the saber will not be able to get out once it falls in. And we'll do this and all the way around. And from the side that we will be kiting the saber, I will be placing ramps down from the wall into the ground. So we don't want it from there. That is sometimes a bit derpy where it does snap onto the foundation. So just pick it up and try again. Now it's not completely snapped all the way into the ground. However, the saber should still be able to get up the ramp. A gap or any gap larger than that will then probably cause the saber to derp out. Make sure there are no creatures around that the saber can aggro on. We don't want anything to inconvenience the process of kiting the saber into the trap. So I'll go and find the saber and I will bring it to the trap. So with that said and done, here is my target. Notice he's not aggroed on me. In order to get him to aggro on me, I will dismount my wyvern and then mount back up and run towards the trap. Just pretty much get on the other end if this wyvern wants to land, but sometimes it is derpy, so it might take a couple of attempts. But the idea is you want to be on the other side of the trap before the saber gets to the ramps. So it may take a few attempts, especially with a derpy wyvern. If it does lose aggro, the way to re-get aggro without actually damaging the saber is to dismount your pet, whatever you're riding, and then mount it back up again. That will get the saber's attention. Now, the main reason you want to do this is because you don't want your saber running into trouble, especially once it gets a high level of torpor. Once again, before you even start making any attempt at knocking out the saber, make sure that the area is clear of any other hostiles that may potentially go into the trap or disrupt the taming process. So in this case, I've had 2 Carnos that have spawned here. I will deal with them and then move on to the process of knocking out the saber. From this point forward, it is fairly straightforward. If you do not have a wyvern or a tall creature, you can just walk up the ramp up to the point where you can see the saber from any angle and start knocking it out. You don't have to use a wyvern. This is just what I had with me, just because my base is fairly far away. This is a large map, and this is how I find it easiest to get around. So I am going to start putting in the trank darts. They don't take that many trank darts. I am using a very normal standard long neck rifle, so you guys can see how many shots it will take. It is fairly easy to knock out. You'll know that the saber is close to being knocked out because it will want to just run away. At the moment, it's trying to attack me. As long as it's attacking the structures, you know it's still aggroed onto you and it is still hostile. I do strongly suggest and recommend that you use a long neck rifle and darts for this. As you can see, it is starting to look a bit bloody, and it will look more and more bloody, so it is taking a fair amount of damage. Now, this is your fairly basic carnivore that you can ride with a saddle, so it's not anything special or powerful, but it is a creature that you can tame. So we are getting close now to the point of knocking out the saber. I do from time to time like to make sure that I am not being snuck up on by anything else whilst doing this. You tend to be vulnerable. The saber's torpor does drop fairly slow, so you do have time. There's no rush to do this. As you can see, it's already looking quite bloody. And because I'm close to the water, what will happen with the saber's AI, in its attempt to run away, it will go into the water. If it does go into the water, and if it's swimming, do not knock it out there because it will drown before you tame it. If it is able to walk and run in the water, then you can knock it out, as it will not drown for that reason. It's just a mechanic that the game has. I would try and avoid knocking it anywhere in water out, because you don't want to run the risk of killing off something that you're trying to tame. There we go, down it goes. And I'm just going to have a quick look around, make sure. Okay, we've got an Argent, so I could see that guy doing something. I'll deal with him. We don't want this guy complicating anything. I should really eat the carcasses because that will attract potentially other creatures. One thing that I like to do when I use my wyvern in such traps, I like to hover my wyvern above the trap like so. So my wyvern can walk on it because it is a 1 wall tall trap. And that kind of gives me the added protection whilst I am taming out the saber. From this point forward, just put the kibble in the saber's inventory and wait for it to tame. Alongside the kibble, you can also use meat, prime meat, and the raw mutton as well. Once you have starved it out, if you want to do that, which is what I've done here, you just put the food in it if you don't want to take a chance on running the risk of losing out food to the saber. For this, of course, you can use Dododex, which is an amazing app that you can get both for Android and iOS devices. It will help with any element of the taming process in games, as well as breeding and many other things. Definitely a app that I recommend. So that is it. That's my saber. I have used the mod to be able to pick it up. I normally like to clean up my traps just to keep the server clean. And this way I get to recycle all of the parts that I used and use them for another trap in another location at a later time. Just having a look around, make sure that nothing is going to be of a serious threat to me. So I'm going to show you what the saber can do. There's nothing, as I said, very special about it. We'll just put it down on the ground right here. So it can run, it can jump, it can harvest meat, and it can kill creatures. And that's pretty much kind of it. It's not anything special. It does look pretty cool, and the new model for it does look pretty decent itself. So as you've seen, the process of taming a saber in Ark is pretty basic and standard. It's probably the easiest thing to tame if you do it right. So yes, you can use a bola to bola it. However, the bola does have a cooldown timer before it basically breaks, allowing the saber free. And if you are going for a high level saber, the bola will break before you knock the saber out. Because it will have high torpor, it will run away most likely into danger, so you want to use a trap. However, you can use the bola for low level sabers if you want to. I strongly recommend using the long neck rifle because it does the least amount of damage. With that being said and done, that is it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me in the channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Until next time, stay safe, folks.